JJ and CeeLo are back. So, JJ, do you like this signing for the Mets?
You know what this signing reminds me of? A hot poker player who's hit a couple of big hands, who basically has a mediocre deck and is basically saying, hey, I'm putting more on my belief and my trust that I can go and find another winning hand. Because on the surface, no, I didn't love Frankie Montas when he was a New York Yankee. You look at his numbers with the Reds and the Milwaukee Brewers, we're talking about an ERA close to 5, and he's getting $17 million a year for the next 2 seasons. Yeah, on the surface, I'd say, no, I don't like the signing, CeeLo, but I do know David Stearns had an unbelievable knack last year for finding buy low starters. He got Luis Severino. He hit the jackpot. He hit Sean Manaea in a even bigger jackpot kind of way. So to me, I think you're putting your confidence in the Met GM to go and find pay dirt again. But if you're asking me gut feel, what do I think of Frankie Montas? He's a 4th or 5th starter at best.
Very underwhelming if the contract is what it is. Maybe we find out there's an option or a buyout or something. But yeah, I don't quite understand the need to go to the second year. If that's what the market dictates, that's fine. But this is, I say it's an underwhelming signing. It's an underwhelming pitcher who's had a hard time pitching, staying on the field, taking the ball. So I know he did that maybe a little bit more in 2023 than after he came to the Yankees via trade, but it's a guy that's got a history of shoulder issues. The numbers have been not great. So, I mean, you come off a year where you talked about some of those buy low moves, even a Luis Severino, 1 year with the motivation of getting back to free agency, all of a sudden now you're paying more across 2 years for a guy that's, I think, has just as checkered a past as far as his performance as maybe not even as high end as Severino was at his best with the Yankees. So perhaps a sign of what's to come as far as the pitching market this winter, but big dollars for a guy that's really not that great.
You brought up the possibility of an option year. It's being reported that the second year is a player option, so Montas wins big here.
Oh, he sure does, and I can guarantee it is, unless he goes and pitches to like a sub-3 ERA. I would put my money on him exercising the second year of that deal. I'm surprised he got a second year. But again, you're counting on David Stearns to identify the pitching market, knowing what's going to be spent on other pitchers, and nailing it once again.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if we take it from the other standpoint, if he pitches really well and he opts out, then it just becomes a one-year deal for the Mets. But, yeah, if he doesn't pitch great, he's on the books for 2026 at a decent chunk. So I don't love it, but we didn't love what the Mets did last offseason. It worked out okay.
And David Stearns does have a track record on these signings. All right, and we can't let you guys leave just yet because it's time for
It's now time for your daily Juan Soto update.
News over the weekend as Randy Miller of NJ.com said in a radio interview that the Yankees fear Juan Soto might sign with the Red Sox more than the Mets and that the Bombers' offer will top out at $550 million. He went on to say that he believes Soto has already received 2 and maybe a third offer of more than $600 million. So, CeeLo, how bad a look would it be for Hal and the Yankees if they come up short to the Red Sox?
I think it's a far worse look than if they come up short to the Mets. And you're going to say, well, why? It's a division rival versus team here in town. But I think it's more because we know about the financial capabilities of Steve Cohen. And everyone just figures if he wants, he's going to blow him out of the water. And if Soto's really the guy that wants to take the biggest contract and the Mets really want Soto, can understand where that becomes the marriage and the end result. The Red Sox in recent history have not exactly been, rolling out with these big contracts. So maybe you feel like they're due for one and they're going to put all their big investments into the box of Juan Soto and go big on him. But it just doesn't seem to jive with what the Red Sox have done lately. So I would think that the Yankees should be able to overcome that.
See, well, I don't care if it's the Mets, the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, the Dodgers. You give me the team. The Yankees got to make sure they keep Juan Soto. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. These plan Bs, these plan Cs that these baseball pundits are throwing out there that are trying to satisfy somebody like me, you're not getting satisfaction. I feel like I'm Mick Jagger on the Rolling Stones. There's no satisfaction for Yankee fans if Juan Soto is not back in Yankee pinstripes. So I don't care where the destination would be otherwise. If it's not the Yankees, I'm going to be ticked off.
The way we keep dragging this out, you may be blue in the face before it's all over. All right, JJ, CeeLo, thanks for joining us.